John, invest $7,500 into an account that offers a simple annual interest rate of 5.5%. How long will it take for the account to grow to 10 grand? You could use either one of these two formulas, and I'll show you both. So would you like to use the I formula or the A formula? Go. A it is. So the most common one is the A one. So by asking how long will it take for the account to grow to 10 grand, what letter are we solving for? Careful. How long? Time. T. We're going to solve for T. So that means we should know our A. What's the amount at the end? A. 10,000. What's the amount in the beginning? P. Yeah. You could just give that money to me. That's fine. 1 plus R. What's our R? Good. And T is T. So this is one of the very few times we're going to do a little bit of algebra here. It's going to be okay. How would you like to solve for T? Yeah, you could divide both sides by 7,500. That's fine. I'm going to do something insane. I am not going to reduce this. Why? We're going to throw this in our calculator in a second. If you want to reduce in the meantime to work with a smaller number, okay, you don't have to. But eventually this is going to end up in a calculator. So we'll have this fraction because we divided, and then 1 plus 0.055t. This is what's considered a linear equation. To solve a linear equation, you work outside in. So the outermost thing is this 1 here. This is really a plus 1 here. So what do we do to both sides? Subtract 1. Just in case you're wondering, this thing is really fun to write with. And no, you can't play with it. And now we're trying to solve for t. T is currently being multiplied by 0.055. How do we undo that? Divide. So the exact value for t is this horrible, horrible fraction. As far as putting that into your calculator, this is how this will look. So parentheses, why are the parentheses there? It's together in the numerator. So you'll do 10,000 divided by 7,500. So if you have a multi-line calculator, this is what's nice about them, is you're literally going to type from left to right exactly how this looks. Probably a little bit neater because, again, handwriting's an issue. It's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. We get a decimal. Let's go to 2 decimal places for this one. What do you get for t approximately? 6.06. So in 6.6.06, what's the unit? Rhymes with beers. Years, good. In 6.06 years, his investment of 7,500 will grow to 10,000. So on a test, I will say round to this many to avoid some confusions, because we could totally nerd out if we wanted to and figure out the day, the month, the day, the minute it hits 10,000. We're not going to, but we could. So that's way too much fun. Now, let's suppose I wanted to use the I formula. Well, it's better, except that there's a trick you have to worry about. We need a new color. Purple it is. If you're going to use the I formula, Again, we're trying to solve for t here. What is your I? So I is not interest rate, it's the interest earned or charged, in this case earned. How much interest did he earn? We do know that. There you go. He went from 7,500 to 10,000, so he earned 2,500. So this formula is less to work with, but it's the I that trips everyone up. I, capital I, is the interest earned or charged in this case. So I is the 2,500. But the P and the R remain the same. The P is what we started with, 7,500. The R is the 0.055. Oh, squishy. And T is T. So if we divide both sides by the 7,500 times 0.055, this would be the exact value of T. But here's the deal. If you put this in your calculator, the denominator has to be in parentheses. Without the parentheses, let me show you what it's going to look like. Without the parentheses, you'd only be dividing by the 7,500 and not both parts. Because your calculator does order of operations from left to right, just as you should, your Aunt Sally thing. So we need this entire product is dividing into the 2,500. If you do that in your handy-dandy calculator, you should get the same answer. So again, you can pick the A formula, you can pick the I formula. It does not matter. You should get the same answer. If you're careful, just be careful with the I. Warning! You never ever want to round early. Notice what we're not doing in these problems is, like for instance, doing 10,000 over 7,500, getting a decimal, and then using that decimal throughout. If you did that, you would get 1.3 repeating. That means that decimal goes on forever and never ends. But if you rounded it to 1.3, it's going to greatly change the answer. We call that truncating, when you're cutting off a whole infinite amount of decimals. So instead of that, let your calculator do the work. Yes, I know this is a goober to type in, but it'll give you the exact value. But if you use an approximation to get another answer, that answer has more error to it, and that's not good. We want less error. I would just say the guiding rule for me is wait for the calculator until the last step.